Good morning, everybody. This is Derek with ILI Private Equity Holdings LLC. And I wanted to talk a little bit about adversity when you're trying to actually accomplish something in your life. Right now, as you know, or some of you don't know yet, but I'm actually transitioning my life a little bit and trying to become income and location independent. My goal is actually to move from the United States and actually live in Brazil. I do have an apartment in Rio de Janeiro that I rent currently, and it's kind of my goal to go there. But I didn't just wake up one day and just move or just happen to visit. It kind of took a little bit of effort to get that done. So I'll give you a little bit of background and just kind of talk a little bit about adversity and the challenges that you might face when you're trying to actually pursue something that's a little bit out of the range of what you normally, might be your normal life. I started this dream probably back in 2013. I think it was October 2013. I had been through kind of a rough time. I just really wanted something different in my life. I have to say, I was divorced for a few years by that time. I was divorced. I was raising my two kids. They weren't really kids anymore. They were becoming, young adults really quickly. And I just realized that, hey, you know what, in a little bit, I'm gonna kind of be free here, and I really kind of need to decide what I want to do with my life. Going through the divorce and all those trials and issues, taught me a lot. It taught me that you only have a certain amount of time and nothing is guaranteed. So it just kind of hit me that I always had the dream to live outside of the United States, and being that I wanted to do that, I had no way to do it. In the previous, probably for about 10 years prior to that point in time, I wanted to live outside of the United States. And so I just kind of decided, hey, you know what? In a couple of years, it looks like my daughter's going to graduate, my son's going to graduate from school, and I can do this. I'm still young. At that time, I forget what age I was at that time. It probably, right, maybe around 41, 42 or so. Right now, I'm 45. And I just decided that this is what I wanted to do. And I knew I had a lot of hurdles and obstacles to overcome before I would do something like that. So I didn't come from a lot of money. Number one, was a single parent. I had a job that paid all right, but I wasn't like some big corporate American job, where, I was getting a big salary and I was able to put away a ton of money. And no, I was living paycheck to paycheck, and just, trying to subsist and survive. But I had this dream and I had this real goal. And so I started working towards my goal. The first thing I did was get a tutor. I bought the Rosetta Stone so that I could start learning Brazilian Portuguese. And then I got a tutor as well, because I was like, well, I want to have the best opportunity when I go. I don't want to waste any opportunity. I want to have the best opportunity to meet individuals, meet people, talk to them, and find out what the real opportunities there in Brazil are. And so, as I was preparing that whole process, more adversity arose. In 2014, we found out, I believe in May of 2014, we found out that we were getting laid off. Our company was bought out for the second time, and then our job was going to disappear for our department. So what I did, basically, I was kind of ecstatic because, okay, I'm going to get paid out a little bit of money, a little severance and all that, instead of going to Brazil for like 10 days, which I thought that I initially was going to do. I was able to actually go for like 3 months. And so I continued to learn. I continued to take some of my classes, and then once July 1st came, and I was able to actually go to Brazil. Got on a plane and left, and I have to say that the preparation was really helpful because having the language when I stepped off the plane, not having really traveled a lot internationally, I stepped off the plane, and it's a bit of a culture shock because there's no English. There's no one that you're gonna there are people that will help you, but the airport that I flew into didn't have a lot of signs in English and things like that. I was in Boy, I forget what the name of that airport was. But if you fly into like Galileo in Rio or something like that, there's going to be people that can speak some English. There's going to be some help for you. You can find it. But this airport, just stepping off the plane, I kind of had no idea. So I kind of caught my taxi. I went to my Airbnb, the house that I rented, and it was good from there. I spent about a month there in Sao Paulo. I went to this little island called Ilhabela. I had a friend that lived on the mainland in Sao Sebastião, and so I decided I wanted to stay on the island just because I thought it was a cool thing to do. And when I got there were some issues and some adversities and challenges there, because the house that I rented there, I couldn't get in because the lady was traveling in Europe. It was Airbnb. She was traveling in Europe. Her mother never showed up to let us in. It's just a mess. So my friend had a friend on the island, and so I stayed with her for the weekend, and then we actually, found me a little place that not only allowed me to stay, but allowed me to stay for a month longer than I thought that I was going to stay because the price was astronomically wonderful. It was like not even half the price, I don't think, of what I was paying for the house that I was going to rent just for a month. So I ended up being able to stay on the island for 2 months. I had a lot of fun. It was really great. I met a lot of people, met a lot of great people, had a lot of fun there. And it was really just a matter of me, number one, being prepared. It took money too. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But it was really more of a matter of me just being prepared to be somewhere I've never been. For 3 months' time, in a total another country, another continent where I've never been. And I just fell in love with it. I came home for about, I don't know, maybe 8-9 weeks or so. I found a little job in between that. I worked seasonally, and then 6 or 8 weeks later, something like that, I basically hopped back on the plane and went right back. I had spent only about 4 days in Rio de Janeiro. I tend to say that differently in English because I know how it's said in Brazilian in Portuguese. So I went to Rio for another 3 months, and I met some more great people there, and I just found some opportunities there. And I didn't want to be the cliche person that that's from America that just goes to Rio and just hangs out in Rio. That's not kind of what I wanted to do. But I noticed that there were some opportunities there just for the level of tourism that's there, and being in Copacabana and being near Ipanema, and those are the places where people go. That's where the Olympics was, it's going to be pretty much centered around that area. They're going to have events on the beach and all that type of thing. And so I knew I wanted to kind of be in that area, and then I'm close to an airport where I can get in and out of the country if I need to, that type of thing. So that's kind of why I kind of settled on Rio for right now. But I really want to just kind of find like some sleepy town, maybe like Marasar or something, where I'm near the water. I want to be near the water. I like the beach, and just kind of be there, run my businesses, and all of that. But it takes a lot. I'm here right now in the United States. I'm building my business, the ILI Private Equity Forex Trading Fund. I have the MotoBrazili.com website to sell clothing, that type of thing. And then also Onde Esta, which is a travel website that I designed when I first came back from Brazil. And I wrote a lot of articles for, took a lot of pictures for, put it together because there's a huge need for American individuals who are going over, English speakers, I should say, that are going over to Brazil and kind of knowing, where to go, how to even get there visa-wise, passport-wise, how to get those things. I wrote an ebook on it, and I actually got some royalties from it this morning, deposited to my bank. So that's on Amazon.com. So it's kind of interesting. It's my Brazil e-guide. It's like, wow, like, that makes you feel good when people recognize your work. Like I said, it's not an easy thing. This is, it's a difficult proposition to make that change. To actually say, oh, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone, do something that I've never done before, and really make a go of it. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes money. This is not something that you're going to wake up tomorrow and just decide you're going to do. I like to think that someone like myself would blaze a path for individuals who are coming behind me to make it a little bit easier. An easier transition. I know there are a lot of individuals, individuals that want to kind of move overseas or want to do the expatriate life type thing. It's exciting and it sounds great, but it has a lot of adversity. Like I said, if you don't have money, it's going to be difficult. Like I said, I don't have a ton of money. That's not who I am. But uh, but I have the desire. So what I learned was that you can do anything that you want to do if you have an income. If you can create an income and you can survive and you can eat and and have a roof over your head, you can survive pretty much anywhere. The world is pretty much open to you. So I want people to understand that it is a possibility. It's not something that you're limited to and that you can't possibly do. You're going to have a lot of other factors. We'll probably get into all that later, but money's the big one. So income is important, and so that's one of the reasons why I developed the trading fund, because I decided, hey, this is what I love to do. Number one, this is what I probably have the most comfortable knowledge in. I actually worked for stock trading firms in the early 90s. I was a licensed Series 763 agent. I wasn't a stock broker either. I was an actual stock trader on stock trading desks. So my experience and my training is a little bit different, and it's what I did for a living. And then I kind of was working for a firm as well for about a year, teaching individuals through a web radio show, teaching individuals one on one and coaching sessions as well about the forex market. So I kind of looked at it and was like, wow, I've been around the market. I trade, pretty much for myself, but I can do that for other people. And so it's like, okay, well, here's something that's internet based. I don't have to be stuck in one particular country or another. I can do it pretty much from anywhere. I can provide opportunity for other people because individuals who are in my shoes or individuals who are just working, regularly, they need a different way to make money besides just trading their hours for dollars in their job. So that's the problem that I saw, is that people need that type of service or they need expertise. And I have the ability to provide that and I have the knowledge to provide that. So that kind of worked well for me, and it allows me to be anywhere really in the world. So I'm going to start in Rio. I do have, a significant other that is living in Brazil. She's a Brazilian girl. So maybe we start there, maybe we end there, maybe not. I always thought I was going maybe to Southeast Asia or somewhere else as well too. So the world's a big place. I just want to see it, you know. So what I'm saying to you is that don't let adversity stop you. There's a lot of hurdles that you're gonna come across. There's a lot of challenges that you're gonna have. But if it's a language challenge, start learning today. Don't wait. Just start to overcome that. There's plenty of resources online where you can learn, another language. Hire a tutor. I know that that sounds expensive, but it really is not. I found an individual, Valgelina. I love her because she helped me so much. But the Rosetta Stone, I'll tell you right now, that helped me because it helped me with pronunciation. So when I got to my tutor was like, "Wow, your pronunciation is really good." Because the Rosetta Stone immersed me in it, and it makes you pronounce things the correct way. And if you don't, then it continues to drill you on that. So I had that foundation, and then when I got my tutor, she helped me with cultural things because she was from Brazil. She was from Minas Gerais, and that's where she grew up. And then she was living in Orlando, basically teaching Portuguese at one of the community colleges there in Orlando. So, and I was paying maybe $25. It was like, I think $25 an hour or something like that. So, and it sounds like a lot. But an hour a week, really. On Saturdays, I'd have her come to the office where I was working because that was a kind of cool place to be. And then she would tutor me for an hour. Find a way. That's all I can say is just find a way to make your dream come true. Find a way to get over those obstacles and challenges. As far as money, figure out what you know how to do. I'm telling you, everybody knows how to do something. Anybody who's been in the working world knows how to do something. Figure out what you know how to do and monetize it. There, people pay for information. I keep saying that we're in the information age. People will pay for information. You can teach them what you know. If you teach them what you know, and you can get that income, you can do it online. You can do it through Skype. I'm developing a class right now. I'm looking at the name of it on open learning for teaching people about the Forex market. It doesn't cost a whole lot. It's just a little bit of effort to put in to kind of put those things together. If you know technical information, you can help people with their computers, or you can help people over the net with their phones or something like that. There's money that's out there if you hustle and you push to try to get it. Now, here's the other thing. Sometimes you'll have setbacks. Now, if you're in my situation where I've given up a lot, I've sacrificed a ton. In 3 years, I haven't had a stable place where, well, I mean, I've lived in stable locations, but because of the move and because of not wanting to be tied into a lease, not tied into, car notes and all, I had to release a lot of things that were in my life. I use public transportation now while I'm here in New York State. Just because when the opportunity arises, I don't need to be tied into anything. I need to be able to roll when it's time to roll. I don't want to say, well, I got to do this and I got to do that, and this is holding me back, and those are all excuses for me. So I'm willing to sacrifice now in order to get where I need to be. Now, if you're rich, you're wealthy, and you have tons of money, fine. But most of us don't live that lifestyle. So what I'm saying is just don't second guess and think that you can't do it, but be willing to sacrifice, be ready to sacrifice, because it's going to take a lot of that. Be proactively looking for ways to sacrifice in order to get to where you want to be. So we'll talk a little bit more about it in the coming videos. I know this one went a little bit long, and I want to do some more today. I'm doing some other things as well. I'm talking on some other topics. But I just wanted to give you a little background of kind of where I am and just tell you that you can do it. I'm doing it. I've got setbacks even right now that I have to overcome, but at the same time, there's a lot of logistics that go into that. I mean, once you go 4,000 miles away, you can't fix a lot of things. So you have to fix all of those things kind of before you leave. So just because you have adversity doesn't mean that you can't succeed. That's the main thing that I want you to know. And if you're looking for a goal or whatever it is that you're setting in your life, what you're doing, it doesn't have to be as glorious as, living all over the world or traveling full time. It could be just a career goal. Stay with it. Prepare yourself, sacrifice where you need to, and put your efforts into growing your dream. That's the advice that I can give you. Don't believe that you can't do it, believe that you can, and look proactively for ways that you can actually complete your goal. So I hope that this was helpful and informative to individuals. I don't write a lot of things down. I just kind of go off the cuff, so it might sound, little all over the place a little bit, but it's just, my way of trying to help a little bit and trying to get you to feel like, you can actually achieve your goals. So once again, my name is Derek Banks. I'm with ILI Private Equity Holdings, LLC. I am also the Income Location Indie on Tumblr. And I also have my websites, which is www.iliprivateequity.us. And from there, you can click the links. There's 3 links on the page there for ILI Private Equity. There's a link for Andre Esta, and there's a link for Moda Brasilia as well on that site. It's probably the easiest way to get you there. Thank you for spending some time with me today. Once again, my name is Derek Banks with ILI Private Equity, and I hope you have a wonderful day, okay? Bye.